Okay, you can welcome the people now.
Okay.
So we can start. You want to say a few words before Sri Bagavath?
Okay. Today we are entering the meeting with a question: what is enlightenment? Because most of the religions, most of the scriptures are saying about enlightenment. Enlightenment is the highest state that a man can attain. But in case of J. Krishnamurti, he simply denied there is no such thing as enlightenment. I have read about it. So now we are proceeding to our session with a question. You can share your idea and view upon this topic, upon this question. What is enlightenment? If suppose something is known as enlightenment, you can say, what do you mean by enlightenment? And we can start answering the question. What is enlightenment on your point of view?
Okay, I'll just say it in Hebrew.
Okay.
אז הנושא של היום הוא מהי הערה? מה זה המושג הזה שנקרא הערה? ברוב הכתבים הרוחניים נכתב שהערה היא ההישג הגבוה ביותר שהאדם עשוי להשיג בחייו. אבל במקרה של ג'יי קרישנמורטי הוא טען שאין דבר כזה בכלל כמו הערה. וג'יי קרישנמורטי היה מורה רוחני גדול שחי במאה ה-10. ושרי בגבת מזמין אותנו שנחלוק את ההשקפה שלנו על מה אנחנו חושבים, מה זאת הערה. אז אפשר לענות.
Can I, Lanier, can I say something?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
We were here with Lanier an hour before, so I was thinking about the answer an hour before now, so now I think I know a little bit of the answer. I think that the meaning is to accept what you said, what you teach us, that we don't have anything to do in our inner world, that it is always will be like a shadow from the moment we come to this world until the end of life. And everything is temporary, except the thing that one day we won't be here anymore. This is the only thing that is for sure. And we have also to work in the outside world, that in a good way, and to contribute something to the world, not only to our small, our beloved ones, but also to the whole universe, that somebody will think about me or try to remember me, maybe a generation for the longest after I won't be here. Not only my children and grandchildren. Like I can say that I'm so happy that I met you. So you contribute something to me that and it will be also the happiness that you met some people in your life that really contribute, give you something, and they learn something from them. And I try to teach people something that I know from my experience. And there's always be several, I would say several bad things in my life, and suffering. There's always be, and there will be everything is temporary. Suffering and moments of happiness. Don't look for happiness for a long period of time. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Lionel, if you are interested, you can share their idea in your own language.
אז אני חושב שדליה התחילה ואמרה שלדעתה מה ששוי בגבת מלמד, זאת תהיה הערה. זאת אומרת שאין לנו חלק, אין לנו תפקיד בעולם הפנימי. אין לנו, והעולם הפנימי ילווה אותנו תמיד כמו צל, אין לנו שליטה עליו. זה שהסבל הוא חלק בלתי נמנע מהחיים, ואנחנו לא צריכים לחפש אחר אושר שהוא תמידי. הכל הוא זמני, בא והולך. זה מה שאני הבנתי מדליה. That's it.
Any other wants to come forward?
Hello, Shri Bagavath.
Okay.
I would love to try and share my opinion. Wait. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I feel that the enlightenment is the inner situation, very similar to how you teach us about the enlightenment, that enlightenment is when there is no more experiencing of the separateness, where my inner world does not create for me the sense of being separate from this moment and from this universe. When the experience of unity or of the flow of this moment as being everything, when this experience becomes stable, then I believe this mind state can be seen as the enlightened state.
Okay. பாபுலையா அவங்க என்ன சொல்றாங்க?
நம்ம உள்ள அனுபவங்கள்ல வந்து அப்படியே டிஃபரன்ஸ் இல்லாம பிரசன்ட்டையே விட்டு போறது, அந்த அனுபவத்துல இருக்கிறது தான் நமக்கு வந்து என்லைட்டன்மெண்ட். இப்போதைக்கும் வித்தியாசம் இல்லாம ஃப்ளோவில் இருக்கிறது தான் என்லைட்டன்மெண்ட்.
சரி சரி.
Can I add something else?
Okay.
I wanted to add something else, that also there is a bigger, like God or mysterious above us, that is bigger than the human beings, and he also have guiding us how to deal with life. You have to look for signs, why I'm doing this and why maybe I can change it, and ask him how to deal with problems in the outside, of course.
Okay. Anybody wants to share something?
வணக்கம் ஐயா.
Okay. வணக்கம்.
Before coming to understand your teaching, ஐயா, I thought the scripture says, if you know that, you know everything. So my search for like understanding something, you will come as a person knows everything. Then after your teaching, I am now let the mind to flow as it is, and don't play with the shadow unnecessarily if you don't want to. So if you want to do something outside, take the thought and execute, and then achieve whatever you want to achieve for the goodness of for you as well as for the wider world. So let the mind to follow like a river, let it run as it is, and don't try to meddle with the thoughts and say, I don't want this thought, so I want these thoughts, or anything like that. So if we let the mind to flow as a river, then that is enlightenment after listening.
Okay. And any other wants to share their ideas? Lanier?
Okay. Yes.
Shall I share my idea?
Yes. You can.
Okay.
Can start.
Okay. Actually, in the name of enlightenment, we think it is a strange and peculiar attainment. That is why J. Krishnamurti denied it. There is no such thing like enlightenment. Actually, it is coming to our day-to-day life. It is a matter of day-to-day life. It is, but J. Krishnamurti also says, relating to self-knowledge. It is a self-knowledge. How we functioning? What is the function of our mind in our day-to-day life? So mainly, our mind is divided into two parts, the emotional aspect and the intellectual aspect. The emotional aspect is just like a reaction. It comes on its own. It has no control over, we cannot have any control over that. It comes just like a waves of in the sea, just like a wind flowing. It comes natural. The emotional part functions in a natural way, just like a reaction to the situation we are facing. But our intellect, it is just like it is action. We can act through our intellect, but we cannot act through our emotion. We can make use of our emotion, but at the same time, we cannot handle the emotion just like you are handling our knowledge. We can use our knowledge, we can use our intellect for all our action, but in the same way, we cannot act with related to our emotions. It comes and goes on its own way. After the finishing of it, we can make use of the energy derived from that emotion. But as we employ our intellect and knowledge, we cannot employ our emotions. So our knowledge has some limitation because we do everything with the help of our knowledge, with the help of our intellect. We can plan our actions, we can plan our approach to the world, approach to the situation. But in the same way, we want to do something related to the emotional part also. That is the great mistake all the human being is doing unconsciously. But after inquiring, after doing many practices of religious or spiritual or yoga and many things, then only we come to the knowledge that we have no work with related to our emotion. We have no work related to separate the emotional part. So if we understand the limitation of our mind, the limitation of the intellect part, because we cannot live without the use of the intellect. We have to do everything with the help of the intellect alone. If we cannot use the intellect, we cannot function, we cannot face any situation. But unfortunately, we try to separate the emotion. So all effort and all the inquiry and and so many things, so many work, then only we come to know we have no business related to our emotional part, the reactionary part. And this understanding is known as enlightenment. So with the help of this understanding, with the help of this enlightenment, we give total freedom to the emotional part of our mind. When we give total freedom to the emotional part of our mind, the emotional part undergoes a change by itself. Otherwise, previously, we want to control and to capture the function of the emotional part. We entertain some struggle within ourselves. When we give total freedom to the emotional part get freedom, get liberation. And the liberation creates a change within itself. So our mind itself becomes enter into a different dimension, and we can have a different kind of mind. With a different kind of mind, we approach the situation, we approach all our problem, where the emotional part and the intellectual part joins hands with each other, and with the help of some harmony with each other, we can handle with all our problem, all our situation in a different dimension. So in this way, actually it is it is a matter of day-to-day life. It is not a mystical thing. It is not a religious thing. It is not a spiritual one. It is a day-to-day life. But even though with the word, with the terminology, we separate it from the day-to-day life, basically it is a matter of day-to-day life. And everybody has a right, it is a nature, it is a right, and it is a duty of everybody is to have this kind of enlightenment. Then only we can have our mind in a good way. We can allow our mind to function in a normal and healthy way. And thereby we can live happily. We can lead our life in a peaceful way, and we can avoid all inner struggle within ourselves. So here, the meaning is, the freedom is that freedom from our actions, freedom from our unnecessary actions. If we are free from our unnecessary action, our action is free, not bounded by our reactions. So we can act freely without the restriction, without the weight of the unnecessary actions. So as a human being, each and everybody has the duty to have this kind of enlightenment and have a peaceful life, facing the situation in a good way of mind, good way of intellect, good way of emotion. And that is our duty. That is also our right. And this is my view on my part. And Lani, you can translate that thing in your own word, in your language. And afterwards, you can go through some discussion related to this aspect.
Thank you, Sri Bagavath.
Okay.
So, שרי בגבת מציג כאן את ההשקפה שלו על השאלה מהי הערה. וכמו שכבר למדנו פה, שרי בגבת מחלק את הקיום האנושי הפנימי לשתיים, לחלק של האינטלקט, של המחשבה, והחלק של הרגשות. לחלק של הרגשות הוא קורא החלק שמגיב, החלק התגובתי, שהוא לא נמצא תחת השליטה שלנו. זאת אומרת, מישהו יכול להגיד מילה פוגעת ועולה כעס. הכעס עלה לא בגלל שהזמנו אותו, לא בגלל שרצינו, לא בגלל שביקשנו, הוא תגובה. ויש את האינטלקט שהתפקיד שלו הוא לנתח, לחשוב, להחליט. ומכיוון שלנו כבני אדם יש יכולת לכוון את המחשבות שלנו, אנחנו מסיקים מכך שיש לנו גם יכולת לשלוט על הרגשות שלנו ולכוון אותם. וכאן שרי בגבת אומר שזאת הטעות שרוב בני האדם עושים, שמניחים שיש להם, שהרגשות הם בשליטה שלהם, שהתגובתיות הזאת שהנפש שלהם מייצרת כלפי סיטואציות ומצבים היא תחת השליטה שלהם. וזאת הטעות, לפי שרי בגבת. והטעות הזאת יוצרת בתוך האדם קונפליקט תמידי, כי הוא בעצם רוצה להרגיש משהו אחד, אבל בפועל מרגיש משהו אחר. יש פער בין מה שהוא רוצה להרגיש לבין מה שהוא מרגיש בפועל, בכל מיני סיטואציות בחיים. והפער הזה, זה הסבל, הפער בין מה שהייתי רוצה להרגיש לבין מה שאני מרגיש, בפועל זה הסבל, זה המהות של הסבל. אז הערה על פי שרי בגבת היא מתחילה כאשר אנחנו חוקרים בתוך עצמנו, מתוך ידע עצמי. כמו שג'יי קרישנמורטי אומר, ההתחלה שלה זה לאסוף ידע על עצמי, לאסוף ידע על איך המנגנון הזה עובד. וזאת הסיבה שג'ידו קרישנמורטי אמר שאין דבר כזה כמו הערה, מפני שהפכנו את ההערה לאיזשהו הישג על-טבעי, והוא רצה להחזיר את זה לממדים הנכונים שלו, שזה הבנה של הפעילות היומיומית הרגילה של הנפש שלנו. אז הפעילות הזאת, הטעות הגורלית שבני האדם עושים, היא ההנחה וההנחה הלא מבוססת שיש לנו יכולת שליטה על התגובות הרגשיות שלנו. ולאחר חקירה ודרישה, אנחנו מגיעים למסקנה שלמעשה אין לנו שליטה כזאת. הרגשות הם מה שיהיו, הם מה שהם. והם צצים ובאים בכל מיני צורות ואופנים שאנחנו לא יכולים לצפות ואנחנו גם לא יכולים לשלוט בהם. ולנסות לשלוט ברגשות זה יהיה כמו לנסות לשלוט ברוח או במזג האוויר. אז על פי שרי בגבת, ההבנה והמסקנה הסופית שאין לנו יכולת שליטה בעולם הפנימי, היא יוצרת שחרור בתוך הנפש שלנו. זאת אומרת, אם עד עכשיו ניסינו לשלוט ברגשות שלנו, בתנועה שלהם, בביטוי שלהם, עכשיו אנחנו כבר מפסיקים לנסות לשלוט בהם. וכאשר אתה מפסיק לנסות לשלוט ברגשות שלך, אז הרגשות עצמם והמיינד עצמו בכללותו עובר טרנספורמציה. ולטרנספורמציה הזאת אפשר, להבנה הזאת אפשר לקרוא הערה, להבנה שאין לנו מה לעשות בעולם הפנימי, ולטרנספורמציה שהמיינד עובר אפשר לקרוא שחרור. זאת התנועה הטבעית של הנפש מרגע לרגע, כאשר אין בתוכה קונפליקט. אין קונפליקט יותר בין מה שאמור להיות לבין מה שיש. That's it, Shri Bagavath.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now we can discuss on this line. If anybody wants to share their discussion on this point of view, you can say something.
Can I ask?
Okay.
I would like to ask about the habit of controlling the emotions, because I understand the whole teaching and I really feel it's really valuable and valid, but the habit of controlling emotions, especially negative emotions, is so strong, it just, I couldn't change it yet.
பால்பாலா என்ன சொல்றாங்க?
ஐயா அவர் ஹங்கேரியில இருந்து பேசுறாருன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அவரு நைக்ளோஸ் அப்படிங்கிறாரு. அவர் வந்து எமோஷனை எப்படி கண்ட்ரோல் பண்றது அப்படிங்கிறது. ஆமா, எமோஷனை எப்படி கண்ட்ரோல் பண்றது அப்படின்னு கேட்கிறாரு.
But according to our view, there is no controlling of our emotions. Emotion is a reaction. Reaction comes and goes on its own way. If when we want to control anything, by way of controlling itself, we are giving life to the emotions. Otherwise, whatever comes will go away on its own. If you enter into the emotion in the name of controlling, thereby we are giving energy to the emotion. Actually, it is a reaction. It is not at all an action. It is not a static thing. It is a momentary one. There is no, if you want to make use of your emotion, thereby we can make use of the energy created by, for example, we have some fear, anger, or anything. It creates some energy. With the help of the energy, you can do something. But at the same time, if the energy is not needed in that situation, you need not take the energy in your hand. If you do not take the energy on your hand, it will go away on its own. There is no case of controlling anything. So we have to understand. There is no controlling of energy, controlling of emotion is waste of energy. That is the real problem. So it is the controlling is not in our way.
Thanks very much. I understand in a way, but I still feel some kind of contradiction or tensions, which is still there. Still can't deny that.
Okay, but anyhow, the situation, actually the problem is the situation, not the emotion. The problem alone is the situation, but we have to take any steps to deal with the situation. So that is the cause for our emotion. Situation is the cause for the emotion. So we have to deal with the cause. We have to deal with this situation. So we have to make use of our energy, make use of our intellect to deal with the situation, but not to deal with the emotions. Emotion is just like a shadow or some reaction. We need not worry about the reaction, shadow. The real thing is the situation. We have to deal with the real thing, not the shadow.
Thanks very much. And what would you suggest if the outward situation which caused the tension is not in my influence, not in my hands to change?
Oh, okay. If you have some tension, the tension is a reaction. So the situation is the cause for the tension. So you have to deal with the situation. But if you give importance to deal with the situation, naturally the tension will go away from you very easily. Because the situation, if you want to deal with the situation, some different kind of energy, instead of tension, some different kind of energy will come. How to deal with the situation. So naturally, unconsciously, some tension, worry, or suffering, or any anger or anxiety, anything may come. That is unconscious happening. But when you consciously do something related to the situation, what you have to do, or how to solve the situation, then only some different kind of energy will come to support for your effort and action.
Thanks very much. I will do that. Thanks.
Lanur, you can try to translate all the question and answer.
אוקיי. אז עלתה פה השאלה שישנה הבנה של מה ששרי בגבת אומר, אבל ישנו גם הרגל מאוד חזק לשלוט ברגשות, וקשה עדיין להיפטר ממנו. אז שרי בגבת אמר, בעצם תפנה את כל הגורם למתח, הגורם לרגשות הקשים לעלות, זה לא הרגשות, זה לא, הבעיה היא לא במיינד, יש איזושהי סיטואציה שבגללה עולים רגשות מסוימים. אז פשוט תפנה את כל התשומת לב שלך אל הסיטואציה עצמה, ותעבוד לפתור את הסיטואציה עצמה, והרגשות ייפטרו מאליהם. הסיטואציה גרמה לרגשות לעלות, וכאשר תפתור את הסיטואציה, אז הרגשות האלה ייעלמו מעצמם. אין צורך להתעסק בכלל בעולם הפנימי, שהוא עולם של צללים, ופשוט לפנות לבעיה עצמה, ולנסות לפתור אותה שם. אפשר להשתמש באנרגיה שנוצרת כתוצאה מהרגשות, אבל אין צורך לנסות לשלוט או לא לשלוט ברגשות, או בכל צורה אחרת להתעסק עם העולם הפנימי. פשוט להפנות את המבט לעולם החיצוני ולפעול שם כמיטב יכולתנו. That's it.
Anybody else wants to share their ideas? Each and every moment, we know the I consciousness, the I am, the me. There is no time without the me. There is no time without the I consciousness. What is the I consciousness? Whether it is a reaction or it is an action. It comes in the actional part or in the reactionary part. What is the state of the I consciousness? What is the state of the me? Whether it comes as a reaction or it is the action, because we know I am the subject. Whether it is a subject, so if it is the real thing, it can be considered as a subject. But if it is a reaction, it is not a subject, it is only an object. So whether the me is a subject or object, I consciousness, whether it is a subject or object. Anybody can say your idea, your view upon that question.
So many people, they, including a spiritual teacher, they treat the I am as the subject.
Mm-hmm.
And they treat the I am as the permanent thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because always when you look for the I am, it is there. Unless you are sleeping, then it is not. But in every wakeful moment, if you check where is the I am, you can find it. So they say, this is the permanent thing. The I am is permanent, and everything else is changing. The thoughts are changing, the feelings are changing, the moods are changing, sensations are changing. But the I am is permanent because every time you look in your own experience, it is there. So many spiritual teachers, they teach like that. They say, concentrate on the I am, abide in the I am, and then everything will be okay because you are, everything will come and go, but the I am will always be there. But the Buddha said something different. And Krishnamurti says something different, and you are saying something different. So, so it is interesting to listen.
Here, but according to me, the I consciousness is a reaction. According to each and every situation, some kind of emotion comes, and part of the emotion, a portion is known as the I consciousness. The me is also there. If there is no emotion, there is no thought, there is no consciousness, there is no I am. So it is a part of our thought, part of our emotions. But it is, even though it looks like same, we think it is a constant one. But it is not a constant one. But at the same time, in the case of yoga practices or anything, concentration or concentrating upon the I consciousness is a kind of practice. It is also helpful, but it is a different connotation. It is for a different aspect. We are preparing our mind to focus on something. Thereby, we are creating some energy field within ourselves. For that, it may be helpful. But in the point of understanding, we have to take it as a reaction. It is not a subject. It is really an object. So if it is an object, we need not worry about the object. So, for example, when we deal with the situation, so the situation alone is the real thing. But we think I have to deal with the situation. When we give importance to the I consciousness, the I have to deal with the situation, actually the I is only a reaction. If we give importance to the I, if we give importance to the I consciousness, so it is a disturbance to deal with the situation. So if we deal with the situation according to the I consciousness, so it is a partial dealing with it is a dealing with the situation in a partial way. So we have to. So if that means we are giving more importance to the I consciousness, we are giving more importance to the reaction than to the cause, than to the action of part, than to the real part. The real part is the situation. So if we give importance to the real part, our emotional part will join hands with ourselves. The I consciousness will also join with ourselves. So that means consciousness. We need not worry about the reaction. So the main thing is that we have to deal with the reaction. We have to deal with the situation. That is the real thing. So the real thing must get importance. So when the real thing gets importance, everything will be secondary. The object will be secondary. The I consciousness will be secondary. The result will be secondary. But anything, the solution to the situation, solution to the problem alone will be get importance. So we deal with the situation in a perfect way. So that is a correct way of dealing with the situation. When we deal with the situation in a perfect way, in a correct way, the reaction also will be in a good way. And you may try to translate.
Thank you, Sri Bagavath. It's very interesting what you said. אז שרי בגבת העלה כאן נקודה מאוד מעניינת שאני לא שמעתי את זה מפיו קודם. קודם כל הוא שאל האם האני, תחושת האני שכולנו חשים, האם זה אובייקט או סובייקט? והתשובה של שרי בגבת הייתה שהאני הזה הוא סובייקט, הוא לא סובייקט למרות שהוא מרגיש כמו סובייקט, אבל למעשה הוא עוד אובייקט. לפי שרי בגבת, כאשר עולה רגש מסוים או כל התנסות מסוימת, חלק מההתנסות הזאת היא תחושת האני. זאת אומרת שאם עולה רגש מסוים, אם הרגש עצמו עולה אותה תחושה של אני זה שמרגיש את הרגש. זה חלק מהחוויה עצמה. וכאשר אין שום רגש, אין גם שום תחושת אני. אין שום חוויה, אין גם שום תחושה של אני חווה. האני נעלם יחד עם החוויה. אחר כך הוא אמר משהו מאוד מעניין. הוא אמר שכאשר אנחנו עומדים מול סיטואציה מסוימת, בעייתית, שאנחנו צריכים לפתור, אם אנחנו מדגישים את התחושה של האני, אז הכל נופל על הכתפיים שלנו. זה אני שצריך לפתור את הבעיה. ואז התגובה שלנו לא תהיה הולמת לבעיה. כי הרבה אנרגיה מתבזבזת על התחושה של אני זה שצריך לפתור את הבעיה, עם כל המתח שמתלווה לזה. והוא אומר שכאשר אנחנו מסתכלים על הבעיה, ונותנים את כל החשיבות אך ורק לבעיה, ולא לאני, אז התגובה תהיה הולמת, והסיטואציה תיפטר בצורה הטובה ביותר. That's it, Shri Bagavath.
Okay. And anybody wants to share their idea, they can share.
Can I ask one thing?
Okay.
Thanks very much. And I would like to ask how this, what we're discussing now, relating to the struggling mind and functional mind, because I just translated this from one of your books, and I would like to clarify if I understand well.
Unable to recognize and recollect the terminology.
Yes.
The book on the terminology, functional mind and struggling mind in the Smash Your Sorrows, it is found in the book Smash Your Sorrows.
Yes. Yes, that's the one.
So, I am unable to recollect the exact meaning, but personally what I think, so without the disturbance of the emotional or the reaction, for example, if we have some, when we face the situation, naturally we'll have some reaction upon the meeting the situation in the form of sorrow or fear or anxiety. So if you approach the situation without any disturbance of the emotion, if you are straightly deal with the situation, then we are dealing with the functional mind. Otherwise, if you are struggling with on the basis of the struggle, on the basis of the emotion, if you deal with the situation, we are dealing with the situation in a struggling mind. So here we have to, each and every moment, we have the capacity to disregard the reactions, and we have the plain mind. We can have the normal mind to face the situation without the disturbance of the reaction. So that means giving importance to the situation, giving importance to the problem alone. So here our direct intellect directly deals with the Otherwise, if you are struggling with ourselves, in one way we are separate ourselves psychologically, and we have to separate the physical things also, then we are in the struggling mind. I think this may be the meaning of the terminology.
Thanks very much. It was clear. I thought as well like this. So thanks for the confirmation. Thanks very much.
Thank you. If possible, Mr. Lanis, you can tell in your language.
Yeah.
Struggling mind and functional mind.
Yeah. So, as באחד הספרים שלו, Smash Your Sorrows, שרי בגבת העלה את הנושא הזה של נפש או מיינד נאבק ומיינד מתפקד. functional mind ו-struggling mind. והכוונה שלו הייתה שה-struggling mind זה אותו הרעיון שהנפש מסוכסכת עם עצמה, זאת אומרת שהיא מרגישה משהו אחד והיא רוצה להרגיש משהו אחר. והמאבק הזה בתוכה יוצר גם סבל וגם חוסר תפקוד ראוי בעולם. וכאשר הנפש עצמה מבינה את חוסר התוחלת שבמאבקים שלה, אז זה יכול להיקרא functional mind, זה נפש שמתפקדת או מיינד שמתפקד מבלי להיות מסוכסך עם עצמו. זאת אומרת שיכולים לעלות רגשות קשים בסיטואציה, אבל אין בעיה איתם. משתמשים באנרגיה שלהם בשביל לתקן את המצב, אבל לא נכנסים לשום מאבק איתם. וזה, אפשר לקרוא לזה, המיינד המתפקד, המיינד הטבעי. That's it.
Okay. I think everybody is enlightened. So they find no question.
It reminds me in the meetings of Ramesh Balsekar. You know Ramesh Balsekar, the
I heard about him.
disciple of Nisargadatta Maharaj.
Yeah.
So he would say, I will do a seminar, and you will have to pay me for the seminar, let's say $1,000 American dollars. And in the end of the seminar, I guarantee that all of you will be enlightened. And if you are not enlightened, I will give you back the money. But then he says, only you have to prove that you are not enlightened to me. You have to prove it.
Good one.
So When he wants to get back the money, he has to prove he is not enlightened.
Yes. Now you have to work hard to. Regarding the time, the day, and that you want to conduct the future meetings. So you wanted to move back to Sunday?
But next Sunday also we are having some tight work. So next Monday also we may have the next program in the next Monday, and after we can look about the change.
Okay, and regarding the time, a few days ago in Israel we changed to summer clock.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask if is it okay for you to conduct the meetings at 10:30 Indian time instead of 11:30?
It's very good. So yeah, it is very good. 10:30 is
Okay. So because today I forgot about it and I was already at 8 o'clock in our time, but for you it was 10:30. I forgot about it.
But
So,
but we are according to India time we are conducting 11:30. Now we can shift to 10:30.
10:30. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
1 hour earlier. 1 hour
Yes.
earlier.
1 hour earlier. For us in Israel, no change. For you, 1 hour early.
Okay.
Good, good.
Well, thank you for this meeting.
Thank you, Shri Bagavath.
So thank you, every one of you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Sri Bagavath. Thank you.
See you next week.
Okay, yes.
Thank you very much, Sri Bagavath, for your time and teaching.